Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/TrueOffMyChest, where OP found out that his girlfriend has a tremendously high body count. Let's begin. I resent my wife and I don't know how to get over it.
Did you try working the shaft?
Classy.
Posted by a throwaway Reddit account.
Married 3 years, have a 1.5-year-old girl. I resent my wife. I almost can't stand being in the same room as her. I work from home and she's a stay-at-home mom. She's spent the past years gaslighting me, claiming I don't know how to be a good dad, just because she had a younger brother and I didn't, and because she reads up a lot about kids while I don't. When she goes out for a few hours or even days, I feel like a weight has been lifted and I am medically better. I have grade 2 hypertension, but when I take a reading when she's not around, my blood pressure is consistently lower. We have a 1.5-year-old daughter together and she's the only reason I have stuck around. I'm not too fond of kids in general and I don't think I'm this amazing dad at all. My wife is good at it and she enjoys it, but I don't want my daughter to grow up in a broken home. I know they say it's better for the kids to have separated parents than unhappy parents, but what can I do? I can't get myself to abandon her. Why did we get here? My wife has a habit where she always has to blame any small mistake on someone or something else. She bumps a toe in the coffee table. We need to change the coffee table as it's too big. She parks under a tree and fills the car with bird poop. We need to get the gardener to tell that tree whatever it is, it's never her fault or her mistake. Something bad happens as an outcome to someone, usually my decision. See, you should have got one large bottle of water instead of 2 small ones because now they're warm, constantly. So now my resentment has got to a stage where every time she tries to talk to me, I pull up my defenses by going on the attack and throw in snide remarks, or tell her that it was her decision to do X, or if she asks me for my opinion about anything I just tell her no point in telling you what I think, do what you want. I hate myself for being like this. I'm generally very easygoing, and when someone makes a mistake my response is usually, did anybody get hurt? No? Then forget it and move on, but she's turned me into this petty idiot.
OP, you said that you don't want your daughter to grow up in a broken home, but are you sure that's worth making her live in a very toxic one? Come on, dude. You're not abandoning her if you divorce your toxic wife. You are just making your daughter's environment more livable. Get yourself in individual therapy. They can help you figure out if any of this is solvable or divorce is the only option. Either way, good luck, man. And now for today's second story. The woman I'm dating has slept with nearly 70 people. Posted by Reddit user Feisty Spare.
I recently met a woman through a Reddit community. We are now dating with a view to becoming exclusive. There's definitely a high degree of infatuation on both sides, with constant messaging and love bombing and almost daily sex. She is a single mom to a toddler. She is an absolutely beautiful woman, very intelligent, kind, caring, hardworking, independent, spiritual, and has a unique view of the world. Physically, she is what some might call a 9 or even a 10. I am quite frankly just astonished to have met someone like her in such an unlikely place. Well, last night she revealed that she had slept with 60 men in total. Adding women, that number is close to 70. Now, I'm a modern man and all that, but gosh, 70. She said at least half of them were unprotected and she had been fortunate to have only ever contracted chlamydia, and nothing worse. She explained that all of this happened when she was between 17 and 21. She was going through a rebellious phase from pretty much being imprisoned by her dad growing up, which led her to substance use and all these sexual encounters. She appears to be in a good place, and honestly, I'm amazed at how strong and well put together she is mentally, given some of the trauma she went through as a child. I know the consensus on Reddit is that body count shouldn't matter, but is there a limit? I don't know if I should care about this sexual history. I feel like I don't, but someone I confided in told me that I was being a nice guy finishing last. Is there any truth to that? Update, thank you for all the comments. Very polarized but useful insights nonetheless. To those asking why we were discussing body count, I didn't ask to know, it was info she volunteered during a discussion about sexual likes and dislikes. To those suggesting that I should just be happy and thankful she chose me, I see it more as someone should be thankful that I chose them. All things considered, I think it does bother me that she has been with this many people, but maybe not enough to end it.
By the end of this, you are going to be crying like a little bitch.
OP, come on, god damn it, she's lying to you. She definitely has way more than just 70 body count. Well, at least that explains why she's a single mother. And she also had a history with STDs, because she kept raw-dogging random strangers she met. Come on, man. How many red flags do you need before you understand that she is only with you because you're the safe option? If you continue this relationship, you are gonna be so fucked when she monkey branches to another dude after she bleeds your resources dry during the divorce. And now for today's final story. I refused to sign my marriage license at my wedding, and now I think I should leave him. Posted by Reddit user Guilty But Honest.
It's been 1 month since my wedding with Fred and I am refusing to sign our marriage license, and now I am honestly considering leaving him. For 6 years, I believe Fred and I were on the same page about what we wanted from one another and our future. We agreed, as in he's made this point as well. We didn't want children ever, and I made it clear before and during wedding planning that I wasn't changing my last name, ever. He agreed to this. I am an only child, while Fred has 3 brothers. My last name dies with me, while his family's last name will continue on with his 3 brothers, who are all married with children. And with this all considered and points made on these facts, I believe there wasn't an issue because Fred agreed to it. I personally hate the tradition of taking on the husband's last name. In my personal, every right to have opinion, for all you ready to jump me in the comments, is an archaic tradition that feels more like the transfer of property to a man than a union. And even though I'm never having children, even the thought of someone else's last name being attached to my hypothetical child's, if I do all 9 months of creating it and wrecking my body, just doesn't sit right with me. On top of that, why should I have to change all my registered ID and documentation just because I'm a woman? It's not fair. So it's our wedding day and Fred really pushed to have a ceremony in front of everyone where we'd sign our marriage license together. He was first to go, and when it was my turn, he had his hand placed really weirdly on the document. I told him to move his hand. We had an awkward, quiet battle about it, and when he finally did, I saw what he was hiding. It was his job to fill out all the forms for the license, since he offered to do that for me, so I had one less thing to worry about, and he went behind my back and purposely filled it out so I would be taking his last name. Turns out in Florida you can put your maiden name and the name you are changing it to on the form, and that's what I saw on the license. Both names. We were at the clerk together with all of our needed ID and documentation, and I was so stressed and exhausted. I wasn't paying attention, and I fucking trusted him, so I never thought once that in any world I would need to review what he filled out, or to even review the license when we had it in hand. I refused to make a scene in front of all our friends and family or fall into the pressure I was under, so I pretended to sign it, and the rest of the night was ruined for me. Everything I thought we agreed to and all my preferences he knew about and thought he respected were fucking destroyed. It was like my world was ending in what should have been the best day of my life. Fred is now a completely different person. He's all about tradition now and how it's his right to have a wife with his last name. How it's embarrassing that his brothers' wives didn't make this an issue for them, and how all his friends will give him shit if I don't change it. He keeps saying that it's not that big of a deal and I'm ruining our future. On top of that, he keeps bringing up the child argument, saying we can't both have different last names and they should take mine. We said we didn't want kids. I know it's technically the certificate that changes your last name, but to know this is what he's wanted all along and that he was willing to try and pull one over on me is disgusting. I feel manipulated and heartbroken, and now he's put all the pressure on me to make a decision. Because time is running out on filing for our marriage certification and he isn't changing his mind. I feel like I've wasted our guests' time, our and our family's money for the wedding and now our future together, because I let him fool me for 6 years and I never saw this happening to me. I feel like I've wasted my life and I'm backed into a corner with someone I don't even recognize anymore.
OP, I gotta admit, your post was slightly annoying to read for two reasons. One, you sound like one of those annoying feminists that always cries, "Oh, the patriarchy is abusing me." Let me guess, your hair color is bright blue, isn't it? And number two, this dude is manipulative as hell. This is how abusive marriages begin. Not openly or violently, but with small incremental changes to who you thought they were. Slowly, the real them comes out into the open once you find yourself with ever-reducing options. Do not sign the certificate, OP. You will regret it, I guarantee you. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.